Hi accordion lovers everywhere. Welcome to my workshop in Devon where I repair and restore old accordions, and I want to give you a few tips if you're looking to buy a used second-hand accordion, especially if it's a fairly old one like this one. This is about 50 years old. It's a Piglia Campo made in the town of Numana in Italy, so that's a good name, good make, good region, near the town of Castelfidardo, which is the main town for making good quality Italian accordions. Just beware of any accordion that's got an Italian sounding name but is actually made maybe in China or East Europe. So the first thing to do is to have a look all round, make sure there's no cracks or severe damage to the bodywork, especially in the corners. Looks okay. The bellows look fine. Make sure the corners are all in place. There's a bit of, usually the bellows really wear out quicker on the back. This one's got a bit of wear on the underside, but it's fairly insignificant and that can easily be repaired. Next, see how much it loses air when you just let it come open like that. That's a little bit too much. It's okay, I mean it'll work, but it is losing a bit of air somewhere. If it's just from the bellows seal there, that's a fairly trivial problem, but it can be that there's more of a problem with the ends of the keys, the pads on the ends of the keys there. They may not be sealing very well, they may need replacing. So that might cost £100 or so. And keep an eye out for any signs of corrosion. Here, for example, there's a rusty part there. And on the old honers, especially the corners, would quite often be corroded with a blue-green colour. It doesn't actually affect the function of those corners on the honers, but it's a bit unsightly. But it also might indicate that it's not been stored well. Next thing to do is to try out all the notes, both pulling and pushing on the bellows, every single note. And you might hear some fluttering sorts of sounds like this. Which indicates that the valves are not working properly. I won't do all of them, but it's similar all the way up. And with the bass side, again, you really want to try all the notes because some of them might stick. But just as a demonstration, just pick a chord, play it out. If it doesn't sound exactly the same out as in, it's because it's out of tune. Do that several times. You can hear that's really badly out of tune. And do it in various parts of the keyboard. Here you can hear that one reed out is not working. And in, there's a deeper one that's come in. So there's some problems with the valves and possibly rust on the reeds, because it's the rust that makes them go out of tune. Let's have a look inside. So it's always worth looking inside, even on an accordion that you think is actually okay, because there may be all sorts of things inside that you can't see. The pins pull out quite easily. Sometimes there's screws there, which is a bit of a pain, but if there are screws, be careful you don't slip with your screwdriver and scratch the body. Let's see what's inside. Right, and I think you can see there that some of those valves are sticking up, you see. That one there should be lying flat, and quite a lot of them are sticking up. That's what's causing the flapping kind of noise. Okay, I've removed the reed blocks to have a closer look. There's 2 reed blocks in the bass side and 3 on the treble. And I think you'll probably be able to see that these reeds here look rather rusty, and every reed has got 2 sides. So there's actually 2 reeds on one reed plate, one on each side. So the other one is likely to be rusty, and maybe sometimes you can see some corrosion just from looking under there. Replacing those valves is not a problem, but obviously to replace the valve that's underneath, you've got to take the whole lot off. And the other thing I notice, which I don't like about this, is that a couple of these reeds have been replaced at some point with not very good reeds, and looks like a very amateurish job. So I'm a bit wary of that sort of problem. And there's quite a few reeds you can see here that don't belong. They're not original reeds. And I'm a bit mystified why so many reeds have been replaced. But that's a mystery which I will never know. Okay, and another thing to check for is the state of the wax holding the reed plates in. That can get cracked, and you can see this has obviously given way and fallen out. It's been put back in. So even with an accordion where the valves are lying flat and it sounds okay, if you can actually see any cracking in the wax, it is time up for a general overhaul. So the prognosis for this accordion's not that great. I paid £50 for it on eBay without seeing it first, obviously. If I had, I wouldn't have given anything for it because of the state of some of these replacement reeds. When I buy an instrument, I expect to have to restore it fully, so that's no surprise. And it takes about 30-40 hours work to do something like this. Well, so what I'm hoping to do with this instrument is, because there's 3 sets of reeds for the treble, I can salvage some good reeds off the 3rd set and use them on the other 2 sets, and restore it, tune it with just 2 sets of reeds, which should be fine. It'll sound good and give somebody a lot of pleasure for decades to come, because these instruments can last over 100 years, in my opinion. And well, I hope that helps you steer clear of buying an instrument in this condition. And if you've already got one for some reason, it's worth restoring if you're going to play it yourself and use it, because it will last a long time and it will be a decent instrument. But if you're thinking you might sell it on, then you wouldn't see your money back after the restoration costs. And rather than send it to landfill in the skip, if you're in the UK, you can send it to me at Accordion Southwest, or you may be able to find a restorer in your country who can make use of it either as spares or do a proper restoration job. And I've got other tips and advice on my Patreon page, which I hope you will visit and have a look at. And if it's of interest to you, if you're a player, you may like to subscribe. Thank you very much.